What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Welcome to another installment of Micro Brand Monday. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at a watch from a watchmaker we've actually reviewed fairly recently, Revolver timepieces. Now, they are known for some, pretty interesting designs. I remember that very cool translucent kind of inner dial that we took a look at with their last watch. But this is going to be their newest release. Now, it's coming in at under $300 US according to the spec sheet. I don't have a specific price. Again, I go by the information they give to me as a media reviewer. If I get any more clarification, I'm going to add it on screen. But as of right now, this release is coming in under $300 US. So let's tell the time. It is 2:47 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alrighty, let's go ahead and break into this box. We see a leather watch roll with an embossed Revolver logo. Let's see if there's... Okay. We have... Not sure what this is. Okay, I don't know what that is. Interesting. We have it's actually some pretty interesting card stock right there. Welcome to the Revolver family. I never read that. Warranty card. Is it metal though? Is it metal? I only like warranty cards if they're metal. Not metal. Boring. I'm kidding, but it seems like every micro brand has leather watch rolls and metal warranty cards, but not having a metal warranty card in 2021. Now that's going against the grain. All right, we really care about what's in the watch roll though. This is more of a pouch instead of a specific roll. Okay, so we're talking Revolver. This is much more of a Revolver aesthetic in comparison to the last one we reviewed. Let's get up close. Okay, so right off the bat, first thing I noticed, because I was looking for the second hand, I was like, I like my watches to have running seconds, because nothing was moving that I noticed. And then I realized the more I held it and I put the macro lens on the camera, I noticed something is moving. Literally the Revolver is rotating. You can see the chambers are moving, and that's because that is the second hand. So you have running seconds, but it's not a singular hand, it's literally a cylinder. How crazy is that? Alrighty, let's go ahead, lay the watch flat and take a look at the case dimensions. We're seeing a 44.7 millimeter lug to lug, a 44.7 millimeter case diameter, and a 22 millimeter strap width. Now we're gonna go ahead and put this watch on the wrist, but first I wanna talk about the specs. Now, as we watch the chambers and that cylinder all together rotate or revolve along the dial, we can see it's powered by a Seiko Instruments NH38 automatic movement, so it does have hacking and hand wind, but no complications outside of that. And it's not particularly a high beat movement in any way. We are getting a sapphire crystal, some Swiss Superluminova lume. We'll have to see where it is on this watch. Has a 100 meter water resistance rating, and it's made by 316L stainless steel. And that's pretty standard. Now, I accidentally said made by 316L stainless steel. Of course, I meant made of 316L stainless steel, but I'm an idiot. But speaking of that 316L stainless steel case, let's talk about the finishing. So we are getting some dual finishing. We can see the widest part of the case is brushed, and then we are seeing a nicely polished finish on that bezel and case back. We're going to take a look at the case back in a moment because there's something interesting going on back there. Now, there are a few scuffs on this specific piece. This is a media piece. We can see a scuff kind of down here a little bit. So this is, I believe, a prototype actually. This has been reviewed before me, and it's going to be reviewed after me as well. Excuse me. We're not keeping this watch. We're sending this back to Revolver. But one thing that you have to take into consideration when picking a watch that has such high polish is you touch it once, and there's a pretty solid fingerprint back there. So yeah, definite smudge magnet. You know, that's not specific to this watch. It's just, yeah, something I like to consider and mention when we're talking about high polished finishes. All right, let's talk about the case back. Okay, so as we flip the watch over, we can see this is technically a display case back, but it's more frosted than it is clear, right? It's more translucent than it is transparent. So we can see the heart is beating, but we can't really see much else. Now, if you move it around, you can see that rotor does move, but I think this is kind of an easy way not to have to like decorate or finish the movement. You are getting the Revolver logo, but you don't have to really finish the movement or the rotor. You don't have to decorate much else because, again, it's frosted. You are seeing sapphire crystal automatic movement, stainless steel, 100-meter water resistant. You are getting established, and then you know, some Roman numerals, and then Revolver. So yeah, I mean, not a whole lot of decoration. We can see the screw heads, not mangled, very nice. Again, guys, for some reason, and this isn't specific to micro brands. I've seen this with some big watchmakers as well. For some reason, they think that, you know, they don't have to finish their screw heads, which is crazy to me, because if it's something you can see on the watch, wouldn't you want it like wouldn't you want it to be presentable? I don't know. But Revolver, you did a good job. The screw heads aren't mangled. There aren't some huge apparent tool marks on this watch. So yeah, so far so good. Now let's go ahead and test the crown setting and function. We are getting a signed crown here with some very large serrations. Okay, it was a threaded crown. Let's go ahead, pull it out. Only one position, because again, there aren't any complications outside of hacking, which this watch does. The Revolver has stopped spinning. If we push it in, nice click, we can see the Revolver is spinning once again. Let's try that again. It is stopped. Yeah, very distinct crown setting and function. That's very good. Let's move the handset around. Nice and smooth, no weird clicks or like grittiness, but let's thread it up. Yep, and you can hear some resistance there, so there is hand wind as well. Everything seems to work as it should. Again, there is some definite smudging there. That's going to turn off some people with OCD out there that complain. If I ever put a smudge on any of the watches that I'm reviewing, they hate it. They want me to be reviewing these micro brands with white gloves on, but you know, I'm not that kind of guy. This isn't that kind of channel. We'll leave that to the pros out there. So yeah, we're gonna put it on the wrist, but I know this is kind of out of order. I want to test the lume. They say there's lume, but where would the lume be? I guess maybe just on the handset. Let's see. You know what? Let's move the handset around a little bit to a more presentable location, nice and symmetrical like that. Oops, hold on, here we go. Didn't click into place before attempting to thread it. And then let's go ahead and yeah, test the lume. Okay, here we go. Give it a little zap. Oh, much more lume than I thought. Around the outer cylinder, quote unquote, and then of course the handset. So and then pretty much all these little borders are lumed. Not the most vibrant of lumes, I'm gonna be honest. You know, blue toned lume. Blue lume, you had me standing alone. Come on, oldies, doo-wop, you got it. Blue lume isn't the most vibrant. Let's see if there's lume on the crown. Oh, there is. It's glowing. Again, not the most vibrant. I'm just, guys, gotta tell you, I'm not the biggest fan of blue lume. Yeah, it's not the best. Okie dokie. So here it is on my 7.5-inch wrist. We see an engraved buckle with the Revolver logo. This is a nice, supple rubber strap. I'm not the biggest fan of rubber straps. I would probably put this on either like a textile strap or maybe either a leather strap. I'm just not the biggest fan of rubber. But I think it does work well with this watch, and it being kind of a hyper stylized sports watch. Again, this isn't really a diver, does have a threaded crown with a 100-meter water resistance rating, so I think it being on rubber is you know, perfectly fine. For me, again, I bring this up all the time whenever I come across a rubber strap on one of my reviews. It gives me contact dermatitis. I get heat rashes from it often. So yeah, but all in all, it's a comfortable watch. It's not super cumbersome or heavy on the wrist. What I will say is okay, here's what I'll say. If you thought the last Revolver timepiece we reviewed here was too out there, this is going to be way too out there. Because the other Revolver watch we took a look at is much more of a, you know, wearable sports watch. This is very much like it's a really niche design. I think it's much more palatable than like your average AV8 watch, but this is just like way out there. I think at a glance it kind of looks like a Star Wars Imperial emblem. And so people might think it's that, but then when you take a look at it, it's very clear that it is a Revolver. But again, you got to really be into this, and this design really has to speak to you. I think it's really, really unique, and I really like how the second hand is literally a dish. It's not a singular hand. It's like a rotating dish. So that's really cool. And the penned in border of lume, that's also very interesting, and it having some really decent specs is also very interesting. It's also coming in under $300, so if you're into this and this really speaks to you, you're not going to break the bank buying one. But again, you have to be very into this design to want to pick one up. So this is going to be kind of an open dialogue in the comment section. Are you into this? Would this be something you'd like? What do you think about the specs? I think the specs are just fine. It all comes down to how they put it together, and the truth is, everything from my time with this watch feels solid. As far as its overall aesthetic, again, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. But special thanks to Revolver for sponsoring this episode and sending us this watch to review. Again, we're going to go ahead and send this one back to Revolver so it can go on to the next reviewer. I absolutely love Microbrand Monday because not only am I learning about these watchmakers that I would otherwise not really know about, but also I'm seeing these watches and spending time and wearing watches that I wouldn't normally pick up for myself. So this has been a whole lot of fun, and if I can kind of share these moments with you, maybe these aren't watches you would normally wear or know about, then I'm doing my job and that makes me happy. So thank you to Revolver Timepieces. Thank you to every brand that has joined in on Microbrand Monday, and thank you to my viewers. You guys freaking rock. What is content without a viewer? So you know, there's a whole bunch of ways to support the channel, but just sitting here and watching the content and leaving a comment, it helps you more than you'd ever know. So thank you so much. And if you want to go above and beyond, you know, you can check out the affiliate links in the description below. You can join the channel memberships by clicking that join button, and yeah, you can check out my personal website, thetimetellershop.com. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me on this installment of Microbrand Monday. I will catch you on the next one. And yeah, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.